Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 189 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode is the finals of the Club World Cup for 2037. We potentially could play 3 games in today's episode, and we are starting off with a quarterfinal against Arsenal. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. But not much has changed off the back of the group stage in yesterday's episode. If you did miss that one, I'll leave a link to it in the top right corner. We nearly blew things there in the group stage, especially in that second game, and we did take on Soleizo Osaka out of Japan, but we made our way through out of that group, and we are taking on Arsenal in the quarterfinals. And as you can see on screen, we already know our potential semi-final opponent because the first quarterfinal has been played, and it could potentially be a rematch from the Champions League final at the end of last week. Real Madrid there getting the job done over Man City. So if we beat Arsenal, it will be Real Madrid in the semi-finals, and the other side of the draw, Man United taking on Paris Saint-Germain and RB Leipzig taking on Chelsea. A fully European affair here in the final 8 of the Club World Cup. But we're pretty familiar with all of these teams in this final 8, so I think we're just going to get straight into the action today. Hopefully, we've got 3 games. As I said, if there's a 3rd or 4th playoff, I'll probably just show you guys the highlights of that one, because let's be frank, no one really cares about the 3rd or 4th playoff. But hopefully, we can at least make our way into that final 4, and we'll come back shortly with the team sheets for this quarterfinal as we do take on Arsenal. And here are the team sheets for this quarterfinal of the Club World Cup. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal on the left-hand side there, looking pretty strong there. Their bench does have some quite good players, including Isaac, who is quite a good wing-back. So they might have just a little bit of rotation there, but hopefully we can get the better here of Arsenal. We are on the right-hand side and are putting out our best 11 from this previous Champions League season. Hopefully we can win this and set up a rematch from that Champions League final. And 6 minutes into this one, we have our first highlight, a throw-in here, and we put this immediately inside the final third there through Berger. Gets headed away, but Berger again is on the ball. Ramadan takes that down nicely just outside the box, and hopefully we can get on top of Arsenal here nice and early in this quarterfinal. At the very least, make sure this game does not go to extra time, because that would be a disadvantage off the back of Real Madrid having got the job done there reasonably comfortably over Manchester City. But nice ball there for Berger, who's in a bit of space, actually forces a decent save there out of Patton in goal. Of course, the last time that we did play Arsenal was in the Super Cup a few seasons ago. Picked up a very comfortable win. We are still on the attack there off that corner, but that header from Ramadan straight into the goalkeeper's arms. 0-0 after 9 minutes. And about 6 more minutes off the back of that opening highlight, there is another one, and we get the ball back there through Benvenu Baya, and Agatigere starts to drive us forward here, as it does look like. We are going to start off this one nice and strong, even though we have had to play that ball back to Carl Vollen, but now we will look to build from the back and hopefully can get off to a good start after looking a little bit scratchy, I think it's fair to say, in the group stages in yesterday's episode, albeit these first choice players, most of them were rested for that second game. There's a header from Agatigere, just goes over the bar, so a few chances early, but it still remains 0-0 after 15 minutes. And we go up to the 35-minute mark for our next highlight. Arsenal were on the attack there. Thankfully, good tackle inside the box, and we clear that one away through Ali Ramadan, albeit Arsenal are back on the attack here. Kosic from a tight angle. There's a few decent chances there, and in the end, very good save from Carl Vollen from that close-range shot there from Jeremy Pino, and he is about to take the corner as well. We'll put this one into the mixer far post, but thankfully Gay will head that away. We'll see if anything else does come from this corner, which Tonali, but he gives that ball away to Jonathan Berger, who does start to make his way into the opposition half. Plays that one back for Bayer, a good one too, and Berger now makes his way into the final third. Plays that one back for Bayer, back out yet again to Berger, and then while we are on the attack, that highlight ends, still 0-0 at the 40-minute mark. And only a few minutes before half-time, we do have another highlight here, a corner which Bassero Gay gets on the end of, but that is pretty straight into the arms of Patton there in goal for Arsenal. And it does look like this highlight might continue. Hopefully we can at least hold on here to a draw going into half-time, but that is good as Moraes there gives the ball straight to Radenko Kroller. We are under a little bit of pressure here to clear our lines, but we pump that deep. Good header one by Adam Saki, and Doumbia here will try and pick out Mizkic. It's a little bit messy. Big chance there for Mizkic off the back of a poor pass at the back, but Paton tips that one over the bar. Probably the best chance so far in this first half. The subsequent corner, Basaro Gay puts over the bar, and I think that is probably going to do it here for this first half. Certainly playing the better football, as you can tell by the stats, but again, just struggling a little bit in front of goal like we were in yesterday's episode. I think we'll make one change here as well. Filippo Dinelli is on a yellow card, so we will take him off for Richard Waspa to start off the second half, but certainly not playing badly. But at the moment, we are locked up here heading into the last 45 minutes of this Club World Cup quarterfinal. And about 10 minutes into the second half, we do have a free kick. One thing to note here, Adam Saki has picked up a little knock to start off the second half. Hopefully we can nurse him through that. Another good chance there though for Mizkic, but Paton there with a decent save at his near post. And at the moment, he is the key man in keeping this at 0-0. Waswa there tries to put that far post for Agatigere, but that goes wide, still 0-0, just about approaching the hour mark. And we have got to the hour mark, and we're going to make a few more substitutions at this time. It does look like Saki is recovering, so I think we're going to take off some players here who are down to red hearts, try and keep them fresh just in case we do progress here past Arsenal. Agatigere will take him off for Malizio Menga, and I think the other player who could potentially use the game time will bring on Pedro Lemos there for Radenko Crowley. That's all our subs used, 0-0 with a half hour left. And 5 minutes off the back of those last few substitutions, we are about to have a free kick here, right around about inside the final third, and Doumbia here will put this one into the mixer. Far post, Basaro Gay with a header, but yet again goes just over the bar. Still 0-0 with 25 minutes left. And we are just entering the last 10 minutes of this game. I think it's time to really go on the attack in this one. So we're going to put both our wing backs on attack, and hopefully we can get the breakthrough goal here, because at the moment it looks like this one could potentially be going to extra time. And we are just shy of the 90-minute mark, and we do have a late free kick here in this one. Hopefully we can grab a breakthrough and beat them here before the 90-minute mark. Otherwise, that will be a pretty big disadvantage if we do get past Arsenal going in to the semi-finals. Otherwise, this episode could be a bit shorter than I was expecting, but Arsenal did clear that danger, but we are still in possession. And again, get inside the final third. Ball played for there for Mizkic by Menga, but unfortunately doesn't link up. Arsenal will clear that one yet again, and yet again we are on the attack. So a good bit of late pressure here, late in regular time in this one. Nice ball out there to Menga at the far post. Doumbia inside the box, far post there for Mizkic, will put that into the top left corner with his head, albeit does look like we are waiting for a VAR check, but that could be a very, very timely goal. But unfortunately, he is offside, and that might mean that this one is going to go to extra time. We finally put the ball in the back of the net, and that is a quite debatable decision there. Looking at the lines, albeit might have just had 1 foot in an offside position. 4 minutes of added time, as you can tell by the stats. Certainly, we've had the better of this game, but yet again, not quite efficient enough in front of goal, and this one is going to go to extra time. We can make one more substitution. I think because he is just coming back from injury, we'll take off Basaro Gay for Elaine Basicki, and hopefully that will do the job here for the remainder of this game. As you can see, we don't have any more substitutions. Just thought I'd check that in case it was different at the Club World Cup, but these are the players who hopefully can get us through to the semi-finals of this Club World Cup, about to start extra time in this quarterfinal against Arsenal, locked up at 0-0. And we have a highlight here immediately from the restart in extra time, and Arsenal are in possession. We have kept our wing backs on attack as well. Hopefully that means we might be able to create some good attacking chances here in this period of extra time. But we start off here with Arsenal on the front foot. They've brought a few players off the bench, including Cruz Zamorano, the next gen winner from a couple of years back now in game. He is out there on the right hand side, and so far in the extra time, Arsenal are holding position quite well. Tonali here is on the ball, plays that one forward to Munoz Guzo here, and they start to get into a good position. Zamorano gets in behind. He does get a shot off, was onside, but thankfully Carl Vollen there does tip that over the bar. So the first chance here in extra time has gone to Arsenal. They have a corner. Hopefully we can deal with this. They do get a header off there at the far post through Zamorano, but thankfully that goes over the bar, and it is still 0-0 after 91 minutes. And it looks like there's a bit going on here early in extra time as we look to play out from the back off the back of that goal kick, and Bayer is in position there, plays that over to Berger and we go back to our centre backs, and hopefully we can get back on the front foot here and keep on top of Arsenal and try and break this here in extra time and make our way through to the semi-finals, taking our time here to get this out of defence. Basicki, though, plays that one forward to Lassana Doumbia, back to Ali Ramadan. We get out to Mizkic and hopefully can start to go forward a little bit more. Foul there on Saki, but we play on, and Menga here is in behind. Good chance, but that comes off the inside of the post, and it does not find its way into the back of the net, and thankfully we stopped that Arsenal counter-attack. Bit going on here early in extra time, but it is still 0-0. And up to the 100-minute mark now, and Arsenal are on the attack here. So far in this first half of extra time, Arsenal looking a little bit more threatening than they were in regular time, and good chance here for Munoz, but that is a great slide tackle there from Pedro Lemos, and that does disrupt that attack. Still 0-0 coming up to half-time of extra time. And 10 minutes into the second half of extra time, we do have our next highlight. Didn't think there was much point giving you guys an update at half-time in the extra time because all of our substitutions have been used, but Arsenal are now down to 10 men. A player has gone off with an injury. Ali Ramadan there nearly puts that one in the top left corner, but it goes just over the bar, and there's only a few minutes left until this one potentially goes to penalties. 2 minutes of injury time, but we do have a corner here late. We get on the end of this one. Elaine Basicki puts that away in the top left corner. We can go off attacking. We're going to immediately start to time waste, but that is a very timely goal just to make sure this one does not go to the lottery of penalties, as we are quite familiar with off the back of that Champions League final at the end of last week. But Elaine Basicki there very late just before this game does enter injury time. In extra time, gets his head on the end of that corner and puts it away off the bench. That is a very, very good goal and a very timely one as well. And hopefully that is going to be enough for us here to see this out and make our way through to the semi-finals for a rematch of the Champions League final. And indeed, that is the case. That late header from Elaine Basicki is enough for us to make our way through to the semi-finals of the Club World Cup. Certainly, I think, should have won that game by a more comfortable margin, albeit both teams did have quite a high XG for a game which did finish only 1-0, but certainly still looking a little bit scratchy, I think it is fair to say, so far in this Club World Cup. But the main thing is that we are through, even though we left it very, very late before that one was about to go to penalties. And as mentioned earlier, that means that we are going to come back shortly, and it will be a rematch from the Champions League final as we take on Real Madrid in the semis of the Club World Cup. And we've got TV coverage for the semi-final at the Club World Cup. There are Real Madrid looking pretty similar there, albeit a few changes in defence, most notably, but quite similar, of course, to that Champions League final at the end of last week. We are exactly the same as we were for that quarterfinal against Arsenal. Hopefully, we can get some revenge here on Real Madrid and make our way through to another Club World Cup final. And just over 10 minutes into the semi-final, we have our first highlight here looking to play out of defence. At the moment, Real Madrid are on top of us, so it does look like things going to a similar pattern as they did in the Champions League final. A little bit of a deflection there, in Real Madrid do get possession back, and a chance here for Makoko, just puts that over the bar, going for that top left corner. Still 0-0 coming up to the 15-minute mark. And just shy of the half-hour mark, we do have our next highlight. The only notable change since you were last here is that Jonathan Berger has picked up a yellow card, so we might give Luis Herrera some game time in the second half, but we are on the attack. Somehow Adam Saki keeps that ball and does find Agatigere, who will chip the goalkeeper, finds the bottom left corner, and we take the lead against Real Madrid. If only we did that in the Champions League final last week, but I suppose being champions of the world is better than being the champions of Europe. Somehow that's a mistake there from Lustre, and Saki got on the ball, finds Agatigere in space, and that is a very well-timed chip. Perfect amount of weight on that, and we take a 1-0 lead at the 30-minute mark. And that is half-time here in this Club World Cup semi-final. That goal from Agustin Agatigere is the difference. At the moment, Real Madrid can feel a little bit hard done by based on the stats, but thankfully we have the same amount of shots on target, and we made the most of our one. We're going to make a few changes here at halftime. As I suggested, Luis Herrera will come on for Jonathan Berger on a yellow card, and also Ongyan Mizkic is only going okay on a 6.4. Alagard can come on for him, but hopefully we can hold on to this lead in the second half and make our way through to the final 1-0 up against Real Madrid. And up to the hour mark, we're going to make another substitution here, our last one, still 1-0 up here. Not many highlights in this game, but Lassana Doumbia is down to quite a low red heart. Bruno Costa will come on for him. And hopefully, as I said at halftime, we can continue to hold on to this 1-0 lead. And inside the last 10 minutes of this Club World Cup semi-final, it still has been a very quiet game, but at least in the second half, we have evened things up quite a bit stats-wise, and we do still hold that 1-0 lead, albeit a good slide tackle there, and Real Madrid might get a chance here on the counter-attack, but thankfully they pumped that deep, and we win the ball back there. That was through Filippo Dinelli, and hopefully we might be able to create another chance here to try and seal this one and get a slight bit of revenge on Real Madrid for beating us last week in that Champions League final on penalties. But Agatigere here is on the ball, but we're taking our time as he does play that back to Dinelli, albeit that's a poor ball over the top, and Real Madrid might have a late chance here through Hamdi on the right wing, but thankfully he puts that wide, and with 6 minutes left, we do still hold that 1-0 lead. And entering the last few minutes of this game, as you can tell by the stats, was not lying earlier when I did say that we had evened things up here throughout this second half, but it has been a very quiet game, but it does look like that strike in the first half from Agustin Agatigere is going to send us through to another Club World Cup final, and indeed that is the case. As I mentioned earlier, we get a slight bit of revenge there on Real Madrid from last week and make our way into the final so we can try and defend our crown as the Club World Cup champions. I did think we played a bit better in that game than we have in the last couple against both Arsenal and Cerezo Osaka, so hopefully we can continue to improve going into the final. We'll just go forward and see if we can reveal who we are going to be playing in that Club World Cup final. And as of yet, we are not sure, so I think what we're going to do is come back before the Club World Cup final, show you guys who we're playing as well as the result from the third and fourth game before we do try and defend our crown as the Club World Champions. And we are back about to take part in the Club World Cup final, and as you can see on screen, the other side of the draw, the semi-final, was between Manchester United and Chelsea, and Pep Guardiola's Chelsea did pick up a 1-0 win, so the final of the Club World Cup this season is going to be between us and Chelsea, and also we can bring you guys the results of the third place playoff. Manchester United pick up a reasonably comfortable 2-0 win there over the champions of Europe, but it does mean that for the first time since last European season, we do take on Chelsea, who were the favourites going into that previous Champions League campaign when they were knocked out in the first knockout round by a Juventus team who we did defeat in the quarterfinals. Just one squad update going into this final. Luis Herrera, he has left on international duty. He has gone to the Gold Cup, so he is unavailable, but apart from that, everyone else who has been registered for this tournament will take their place in our squad, and we'll come back shortly and run through the team sheets as we try and make it back-to-back Club World Cups, taking on Chelsea. And here are the team sheets for this Club World Cup final. Apparently it's not a TV game, which does seem a little bit strange, but Chelsea on the left, they look fairly strong. A few rotation players have been thrown in the mix there. The likes of Reece James are on the bench, but still a team that does need to be respected. Apparently, according to our scouts, they are going to be very tough to beat, albeit so far in this save, we do have a good record against Pep and this Chelsea team. We are on the right-hand side, exactly as we have been throughout today's episode. Just one change on the bench. No Luis Herrera. That means that we are a man short, but it is an extended bench. So hopefully we'll be fine and we can make it back-to-back Club World Cups. And only 3 minutes into this one, we have our first highlight is Chelsea here with a throw-in inside our half, and Manning will play that one forward, but a little bit of miscommunication there on the runs, and we do get the ball back there through Filippo Dinelli, and hopefully we can get on the front foot here early in this final. We start to make our way towards the halfway line, and it is now Mizkic who is on the ball. We'll play that one back to Ramadan, back to Basaro Gay, and Carl Vollen plays that one out to Filippo Dinelli. We'll spread that one out to Radinko Krolo, and we eventually make our way into the opposition half, and Adam Saki makes his way out onto the right wing. We'll play that one back for Radinko Krolo, takes his time. We'll play that one in for Agatigere over to Bayer. Some good short passing here. Adam Saki with a chance, but that forces a decent save there from Valencia in goal for Chelsea today at his near post, but at least is a decent start, even though it did force a decent save out of the goalkeeper. Basaro Gay just puts that wide off of the subsequent corner, and it's still 0-0 early on here in this Club World Cup final. And all the way forward to the 27-minute mark for our next highlight, a corner in our favour, and Filippo Dinelli just lifts that over the Chelsea goalkeeper and puts it away in the top right corner, and we do take a 1-0 lead here, just shy of the half-hour mark, quite similar but we did do against Real Madrid, and it's quite a nice header, this one. Not much the goalkeeper can do, goes right into that top right corner inside that far post, and we do take a 1-0 lead, albeit might not be all she wrote just yet, because we have a highlight immediately from the restart as Chelsea are in position and make their way into our half, but thankfully they boot that deep into the hands of Carl Vollen, and maybe we might get a chance here to make it a quick fire double, which would be quite nice considering how we have played so far in this Club World Cup. It has been some pretty scratchy victories to start off this campaign. It would be a good time to find our form, and Lassana Doumbia, given a ton of space there on the edge of the box, curves that into the bottom right corner, and it is indeed a quick fire double, and we take a 2-0 lead in very short order right before the half-hour mark. We had the ball here inside the half of Chelsea, and it is Jonathan Berger who does pick out the run of Doumbia against his former team, and that is a really good finish. And just like that, it is 2-0 Volsungur in this Club World Cup final. And we go forward a few minutes shy of half-time now for our next highlight. Chelsea looking to play out from the back, off the back of a goal kick, but a very, very good double there right before the half-hour mark does mean that we do have a buffer goal, and that could prove very important here as we do look to make it back-to-back Club World Cups and try and keep up this pretty good record we have got going against Pep Guardiola's Chelsea in this save so far. But Chelsea here are taking their time to play out of their half, and we are pressing them quite well as well here in this highlight so far. But Sagnier now gets them inside the opposition half. Morikawa plays the ball over the top for Manning, comes off the inside of the post, and thankfully Ramadan plays that to Vollen, who just does enough to scramble that away, and that will be half-time. So a good chance there for Chelsea late in that first half. But apart from that, it's fair to say that I do think we do deserve our 2-0 lead, that quick fire double around the half-hour mark. Very, very useful indeed. We're going to make no changes this time going into the second half with that scoreline, and hopefully we can hold on and lift back-to-back Club World Cups. And less than a minute into the second half, we do have a free kick here. It is Lassana Doumbia right on the edge of the box. What can he do? Tries to put that in the top right corner, and unfortunately, Benvenu Bayer can't get his head on the end of the rebound. We play that one back for Jonathan Berger. Bassero gay with a shot. It's a little bit fumbly there from Valencia in goal, but Chelsea do clear their lines, and they keep it 2-0 early in the second half. And 10 minutes off the back of that first highlight of the second half, we have another, and Chelsea there do give the ball away, so we might get a chance here to extend our lead yet again, and surely one more goal would be enough for us to secure back-to-back Club World Cups, as Lassana Doumbia here takes his time on the ball, plays that back to Bassero, and we start to inch our way towards camping inside of Chelsea's half. But so far, this has been our best performance of the Club World Cup, and very timely as well, as we are pulling it out in the final. It does seem like we're just set up in a very good way for taking on this Pep Guardiola managed Chelsea team. And Agatigere here plays a nice ball over the top for Adam Saki, tries to chip the goalkeeper, but it goes just over the bar, and it is still 2-0 at the hour mark. And right off the back of that previous highlight, Lassana Doumbia has gone down to a red heart. We are going to bring Bruno Costa on for him for the last half hour. And going forward now to the 66-minute mark, time for our next substitution. Mizkic is down to a red heart. Christopher Alagar to come on for him. Still 2-0 up with just over 20 minutes left. And only a few minutes off the back of that second substitution, we are going to make our last one. Radenko Krolo now is down to a red heart. Pedro Lemos to come on for him. And that will be all of our subs used. Still 2-0 up. And we are entering the last few minutes of this one. It's been pretty quiet since the 56-minute mark, but we don't mind that. 2 first half goals, it looks like, is going to be enough for us to lift back-to-back Club World Cups. We are absolutely belting Pep's Chelsea. When we do get the chance, they seem to be able to create very little against us. And despite it being very, very scratchy for the most part of this campaign, we do bounce back somewhat from that defeat in the Champions League final late last week and pick up our second Club World Cup of the save at the second time of asking. So that does mean we can keep that nice little badge on our uniforms on the club info page. But that was certainly our best performance so far of this Club World Cup campaign. We'll get to the stats shortly, and you can see that we pretty much weren't threatened too much there in that game. A few chances here and there for Chelsea, but for the most part, we were the more dominant team, and that does mean that for the second time in a row, we are the Club World Cup champions. A quick fire double to both Denali and Doumbia there in the first half, and that means that we pick up a 2-0 win and are still the Club World Cup champions. And back in the inbox off the back of those finals of the Club World Cup, we pick it up for the second straight time. So I suppose, as I said, at the end of that game, that does make up somewhat for losing that Champions League final at the end of last week, especially because this does happen these days only once every 4 years. So very nice to keep our hands on that FIFA Club World Cup. We get a little bit of money for that as well, and the board are quite happy with our work. But that will do it for today's episode, for these last couple which have been focused on the Club World Cup. The next time that you do see me, I think we'll come back just around about when the Champions League draw does take place, which I think will happen sometime in August. Of course, this time, because we did not win the Champions League final, we do not have a Super Cup to look forward to, so I'm not too sure exactly what game we might show you guys in and around that episode, but we will also do an update on our squad going into the next European season. As you can see, we've got quite a few games to play in between now and then, which probably means we'll do a bit of transfer activity as well. And of course, we'll have the group stage draw for us, and as well as that, keep an eye out on all the other Icelandic teams in their European qualifying campaigns. But if you did enjoy today's episode, picking up the Club World Cup for a second time in this save, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Hopefully we'll be back with that next episode tomorrow, but there's a chance it might come the day after that with the house movement stuff happening, so just be warned. I'll let you guys know down in the comments if we are going to miss an episode for a day, but as I said, we'll come back and set up the new European season. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.